In this video, sponsored by War Thunder, let me tell you the story about how me and my boys fought a very mysterious tribe who turned out to not be who they seemed. As always, it started off with me spawning in on the beach. The servers I was playing on, called the Conquest clusters, had been fresh wiped only 6 hours ago, and for the next 30 days, the only map on this cluster would be the island, by far my favorite. Spawning in completely fresh at level 1, first thing I had to do was go collect some notes so I could get a couple levels. As I was finishing up my note run, I saw a message about a tribe that had been entirely banned for cheating. Maybe it's a bad omen that there's already cheaters on the server, but hey, at least they're being banned, right? Now at level 74, I was ready to get started. I also found one of my buddies' brother box, so I quickly added him to the tribe. After that, I pulled my implant and spawned in the North 1 zone. As always, my plan was to run down the river and build a base spot deeper inland. Yes, I understand that this is what I do every single fucking time, but hop off my sack, okay? I just really like this spot. Only about a minute after spawning, however, I came across a guy in full metal armor. This was a perfect opportunity for a nice head start. To prepare for this grub play, I crafted a torch. Now since these completely ignore armor, his fancy suit of flak armor won't mean shit. So I began my play against him. Oh my god, it's a Chinese guy. These guys are clueless, bro. Dude, these guys are clueless, bro. Bro, he just lets me walk up to him and hit him. What is this? Since the guy had run out of stamina in the water, he literally couldn't surface to get air, so all I had to do was sit and watch him slowly drown. He's got a good 180, I'll give him that. He drowned. Thank you very much. I'm not exactly sure what was up with this guy's 2-second reaction time to everything I did, but now having claimed my walking loot drop, I was in a much better position. Not only did I now have metal armor and weapons, but more importantly, metal tools, which makes starting up infinitely easier. Heading a short distance down the river, I found 2 guys on RGs flying around. Now, I could have done the responsible thing and just ignored them and continued along to my base spot since they hadn't spotted me. But I was greed maxing, and looking at these guys, all I saw was more loot. Fuck all that responsibility shit. I'm a gambler and I'm on a hot streak. So again, unseen, I began following the RG guy. Low to the ground and concealed by foliage, this guy had no idea I was tailing him. Carrying a couple bolas on me, if I could wind these up and hit the player off the back of the Argentavis, he'd be thrown to the ground and unable to move for 30 seconds. Although of course hitting said shot is far easier said than done. So I kept on him, just waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike. And this came when he began hovering idly in the air. He must have been checking his inventory. It was now or never. This guy's budgie showed up to try to help save him, but it was far too late by then. I'd taken all the good shit off his body and disappeared into the forest. I spent a good couple minutes hiding in that forest waiting out my 3-star wanted level, and once the coast was clear, I continued on my way to the base spot. But of course now I took a slightly more secluded path so I wouldn't get seen along the way. This path put me just barely within view of a giant base set up on a place called Alpha Pillar. This had caught my interest, but this time I decided to actually be responsible and continued on my way to the base spot. There I met up with Brother Box, who was already waiting for me, and we started setting down our base. Okay, listen, I know you're gonna get mad at me for building a 2x1 in the same place I always build a 2x1, but hold on, an old dog can learn new tricks, because this time I made a 3x1. Pretty cool, huh? Actually, this turned out to be the biggest piece of shit base we ever built, and we immediately hated it as soon as we were done with it. It did, however, manage to fit a smithy, bed, and furnace, so it was good enough. I went and got some metal and then smelted that up. So now we had all the basic supplies we needed. With everything now in place, I went to go take a look at that base I'd seen earlier. And of course I donned the customary goblin outfit. Why, you might be wondering? Because being a little forest goblin is just kind of cool. Anyways, their base was only about 1 kilometer away. Once I got there, I found a nice little creep spot looking into their base from pretty far away, and began checking them out. Their tribe name was Tribe of Stat FPS. the same tribe as the guy I had jumped off the RG. And clearly that guy was far from alone. The tribe limit for the server I was playing on was 25, and these guys were probably at that point. Their base clearly reflecting this fact. It was absolutely packed full of tames and people. Most notably, 3 industrial forges. Most tribes don't ever get a single one of these, so to have 3 of them 6 hours into wipe is crazy. What we found strange about these guys was their names. Having gamer tags like cool or patience or shu 1y1, and then their character names would be shit like Zhao Li. Not to mention, Tribe of Stat FPS is a fucking really weird tribe name. Since they were built on top of Center Pillar and had an insane array of automated defenses, there was honestly no way for us to attack these guys. But my goblin grub instincts were tingling. There was definitely some funny business to be had around here. It was just a matter of finding out what exactly. As I was communicating this fact to Brother Box, hidden behind a rock, one of these guys somehow flew exactly to where I was with an RG and picked me, dragging me into turrets where I was immediately killed. This was incredibly suspicious. I couldn't be sure of it, but like many tribes of their size, I began to suspect that at least a few of them were cheating, but I couldn't say this with any certainty. Maybe they were cheating, and maybe they weren't. We'd find out eventually. After this, me and Brother Box went to go tame some pterodons. We went to the river south of our base and just began prowling. We found a few pretty bad pterodons that were just barely acceptable levels and knocked them out. With us 2 goblins now airborne, we cherish these newfound flying steeds so much that we instantly use them to look for higher level replacements. Both of us checking different areas of the river, a PT guy flew straight over Brother Box's head. He communicated exactly which direction this guy was flying, and I set up an ambush for him. Picking him off his bird, he was thrown to the ground. I bulleted his PT. There would be no escape for him. With him now bulleted, it was over. Fucking guy got jumped by 2 goblin freaks, a story as old as time itself. Frankly, this guy had played super shit. He'd unloaded a whole pistol mag in my general direction and none of those shots hit. The fact that these guys were kind of shit at the game made me infinitely more likely to believe that they were actually cheating. But of course, no play made against a big tribe goes unpunished. One of his buddies showed up with a pterodon, and as soon as I go to try to fight the guy, he just starts running away. I immediately realize what his trick is, which is just to wait for his butt buddies to show up so they can gank me. And so I try to leave, but my pterodon is such a low level that he can just chase me down. With all of his butt buddies now having shown up, I get ganked pretty bad in a 4v1. But it's not particularly the end of the world. I had a shit kit and a shit PT. But it did show that we were starting to get on these guys' nerves just a little bit. Very shortly after this, however, we ended up having to move base spot because some random guy had found us. We packed up all our meager possessions and moved to a base further northeast from here. This time we didn't make the mistake of making a weird ass base, so we just made a regular old 2x1. From this base location, we once again began setting down roots. As we were setting up the base, I opened up my smithy and found something pretty cool. Whoa, is that War Thunder? War Thunder is the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made and is available now for free on PC, consoles, and mobile devices. Take command of over 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships of 10 major nations, ranging from the old biplanes and armored cars to the fighter jets and tanks of today. Immerse yourself in the intense combat of War Thunder, where incredibly detailed vehicles, realistic graphics, and authentic sound effects put you in control of the most powerful war machines of our time. Join a community of over 95 million players in epic PvP battles today. And if you're a fan of military history like me, I can certainly recommend being able to play as the most iconic vehicles throughout history. Play War Thunder now for free on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, or mobile devices. Use my links in the pinned comment or video description to sign up. New players and those who haven't played in 6 months will also receive a massive bonus pack on PC or consoles. This includes multiple premium vehicles, the exclusive vehicle decorator Eagle of Valor, 100,000 2,000 silver lions, and 7 days of premium account time. Available only for a limited time, so don't miss out. Now, back to goblining around, where I had just recently set down my base. The first order of business was for me to go out and tame a couple more pterodons nearby, where I saw something pretty fucking bad. Oh my god, speed hacker. I gotta get his name. Who could have guessed? Tribe of Stat FPS. Just at the very edge of my render distance, I had caught an RG guy speed hacking. And we're not talking about some subtle 20 or 30% speed boost. I recreated the run that this guy did with a non-speed hacking RG, from the exit of this forest to the entrance of this forest. And it took me right about 33 seconds. Whereas for this guy, it only took 15. This guy's moving at fucking double speed. And because we could now confirm without a shadow of a doubt that these guys were speed hacking, it makes it much more likely that they were ESPing when they find me behind that rock. A giant cheating tribe taking control of the server that I'm playing on. I think you guys know what that means. It's time to break out Old Reliable, a guerrilla warfare campaign. Defeating this tribe by conventional means would be impossible. Instead, the goal was to simply annoy them through unconventional tactics that tribes like these aren't used to, and in the meanwhile, try to uncover the mystery of who these guys exactly were. And here's the best part. Outnumbered 10-1 and up against cheaters, we could finally take the gloves off. We wouldn't have to hold back against these guys. This was gonna be fun. But before anything fun could happen, we had to do something very not fun, which is to say, do a little bit of farming. Ooh, fuck man, that was a lot of farming for me. 2 whole metal nodes. Damn. At any rate, at least we now had some meager supplies to work with. With this in mind, me and Brother Box decided to go over to their base to see exactly what kind of funny business we could get up to. We moved towards their base on foot, making great efforts to not be seen along the way. Laying down in some thick grass nearby, I entered photo mode to get a better look at their base. But despite having taken great strides to hide ourselves, for some reason that just didn't seem to matter. Picked by a pterodon guy, I was dragged all the way to turrets. Now take notice of this because it's very important. Almost instantly after I'd been picked, Brother Box was picked by an RG. But a few seconds after, a common glitch occurs where you're teleported back to where the flyer originally picked you from. Since there was dense tree foliage in the way between Brother Box and those who had picked him, he used this opportunity to run behind a rock and hide. Now keep in mind, this is the Argentavis and this is the pterodon. The pterodon is way further away because remember, he dragged me all the way to turrets. Now we can hear from this hiding spot that the RG fails to find Brother Box. You can hear him flying off to the right, but super conveniently, the pterodon guy who is further away and has an even worse view of the situation somehow knows exactly where Brother Box is hiding. And we can tell he's not just flying around and looking because he attempts a pick before he's even on the other side of the rock. Since picks cost a shit ton of stamina, you would only do it if you're certain that there's someone behind the rock, which how the fuck would he know that? Again, even more evidence that these guys were ESPing. At this point, we were starting to pick up on the fact that there was something fishy going on with this whole situation. We had a couple pieces of the puzzle at this point, but in reality, we had no clue how little we truly knew. With it now basically completely confirmed we were up against a cheating tribe, a couple of my boys, who you've heard me refer to as the Goopers before, decided to start joining us. Like some sort of actual goblin war band. The more victories we got over these guys, and the closer we got to unraveling the mystery, the more goblins would flock to our cause. For now, however, there was only about 3 of us. Hoping to uncover more clues, I used a pterodon to scout out the entire map, where I would discover that there were basically no other real tribes on the server. Sure, there were a couple of blown out husks and a couple of tiny bases, but Tribe of Stat FPS had no real competitors. Server hasn't even been up for 12 hours at this point, and they've already wiped out most of their competition. In the northwest section of the map, I found the destroyed base of Star Ark, the tribe that had been banned in its entirety when I had joined. Now there was actually some loot here, which very clearly was sloppy seconds, but we did not care. There was a lot of metal here. We tamed an Argentavis to help us carry this shit, came over and looted up. And considering the fact that everyone in our tribe is a lazy bum who is allergic to farming resources, this was actually a pretty huge come up for us. But what was unusual about this was the fact that their base hadn't been dev wiped. When a big tribe like these guys has all of its members banned, they usually also have all their structures and items destroyed. But for some reason, the moderators on the server had left their loot to be claimed by other people on the server. This was pretty weird, but we didn't exactly have time to think about this right now. Stat FPS was about to pass a very important milestone. You see, there's these disgusting little hell bugs called rhinognathias, and on island-only servers, these things are by far the peak of both farming and PvP tames. The process of getting one of these tamed is some shit straight out of Aliens. Basically, you get a wild one of these guys to impregnate a large herbivore that you have tamed like a paraseer. The baby spends the first 12 hours of its growing cycle within the stomach of this paraseer, slowly chewing its way out. And then when it's done, it just consumes the paraseer in its entirety, pops out, and then you let it mature for another day or two and it's ready to be used. Looking at the base of stat FPS, I could see 4 paraseers impregnated by this disgusting creature. I had to find a way to kill them. Not only would I be basically mercy killing the paraseer and doing it a really big favor, but the embryo of the rhinognathia would also die in its stomach. And thus, it would help delay stat FPS from getting their hands on this very, very powerful tame. It had been a couple hours since we had last been ESP'd, so my hope was that the guys who had ESP had either logged out or were at least not at base at this very moment. In case he wasn't, I approached the base completely naked with the only weapon on me being a crossbow. That way, if the guy ESP'd me, he would think I posed no threat whatsoever, and I'd simply be able to rat on by because they thought I was irrelevant. With this taken into consideration, I began creeping around hoping to find an angle to shoot the paraseers from. Two of the 4 rhinos they were raising were now dead. This was great news. Of course, they weren't too happy about this, so an RG guy was sent to go kill me. But this guy was like shit. Like really shit, so I actually ended up escaping. And all it took for me to break this guy's ankle was just doing 2 little loop-de-loops, and then I was gone. About 30 minutes after this, with their blood all riled up, me, Brother Box, and Schmurda, the 3rd guy to join us, gathered on our flyers outside their base. Hovering just around the edge of render distance, we were essentially goading them into a fight. Potentially riled up by the loss of their 2 rhinos, 3 of them would ride out north to answer this call. As they gave chase to us, we retreated back north a small distance. Not only would this increase their confidence, but it'd get us further away from their turrets too. Now at a reasonable distance away, the first battle of North One Mountain could begin.
Yeah, I'm good there.
If you want to chop it, bro, chop it.
Follow this PT, I'm gonna fucking cap. You chop it, I'm chopping.
I'm just gonna keep flying.
Brother Box had bulleted and killed one of their pterodons. With one of their flying mounts dead, I could now easily pickfight their RG.
I'm gonna go for a pick on him. Picked him, dropping him.
Good shit.
Try to see if you can get him now. He pulled shoot. C-spinned.
The one remaining pterodon guy they had left wasn't too happy with me, so it was his turn to get picked next.
Picked PT.
Nice.
After this, they began retreating. The pterodon guy got away just fine, but the RG was way too slow. It was just a matter of picking and dropping him until he died.
He's on the RG, on RG. Hold on, I'll pick him. Picked him, he's dropping. I got him, dropping.
Get him.
Dead.
The RG guy was dead. Before we could kill the RG, however, the pterodon would come by, whistle it to follow him, and retreat straight back into turrets. This had been as close to a fair fight as possible. 2 pterodons and an RG on each side, and they'd been humiliated. One of their pterodons lay dead, and we even got to loot one of their guys. The only thing preventing them from losing everything was that they had the ability to retreat to their nearby turrets. Not waiting around for 10 of them to come gank us, we disappeared off into the bushes. We spent about 15 minutes away from their base letting the heat die down because we definitely got a 5-star wanted level for that shit. And once that time was up, I hopped on my PT and began skulking around in the woods nearby their base. Using actual guerrilla tactics, I was waiting in the woods for one of them to go off by themselves when I saw an RG guy flying north. This would be a very easy ambush.
I got him. Oh, he doesn't even have a kit on him. Bro, I'm just gonna drop him.
Yeah, drop it.
Did he survive? He survived.
He's fine.
He survived.
I picked him.
Okay.
Oh, this RG's so weak, it's easy clap.
I see spin in midair, bro.
Okay, he's dead.
This guy had been flying his RG back to a Dinosuchus to help transport some black pearls that he had been farming. 140 of them to be exact, which was no small sum indeed. We gladly took these pearls and then chopped up the Dinosuchus and then the Argentavis. About a minute after this, we saw him flying back on a pterodon.
He actually pulled a shoot.
It's solid.
I picked him, I picked him, I picked him.
It's solid.
I'm taking him up. Oh my god, bro.
What is that?
After killing him, can you guess what we did to his pterodon? That's right, we chopped that fucking thing up too. Look at this guy's fucking stats. 62 points put into weight and only 15 into HP. I think we've met him, guys. I think we met the final boss of farm slaving. After this, we once again camped out outside their base, but this time to the west. They saw us, but they refused to push out and fight us. So, in an attempt to prod them a little bit, I started sniping some of the pterodons in their base.
Breeder starter.
Ooh. Shoot. Another one dead. This probably pissed them off, but they weren't exactly rushing to go at us. We waited outside the giant tribe's base for maybe another 10 or 15 minutes before they finally started coming out in equal number to us. 3 of them were coming at us. Again, 1 RG, 2 pterodons. We prepared ourselves for another fair fight.
Yeah, they're coming. They're coming.
They're getting kind of brave, Shmurda.
Picked him, my RG.
Nice,
Please
nice.
have grappled.
But little did we know that this whole time they hadn't intended a fair fight. Instead, they had sent one little rat fuck forward with a heavy turret and batteries. Basically, you just place down the heavy turret, and anything within 80 meters of it takes fucking 800 damage a second. And if you hide that heavy in a bush, basically you have a near invisible, like, instant kill zone. This was a really fucking lame card to pull when there's guys with shitty gear and shitty flyers outside your base. We ended up losing both Brother Box's kit and the RG to this little cheap trick, after which point we had really no choice but to pull back. Lame as hell, but not the end of the world. In fact, after this, Hamoud joined us. So, now the Goopers were 4 strong, and we would need these extra numbers, because I'd spotted 2 of them going out on a metal run north of their base. Me and Brother Box moved in to ambush them.
Picked him, dropped him. I have like his stem.
I got picked. I bullied. Fucking guys on his...
Oh, him? What? No, what?
Oh, what?
At the worst time possible, an incredibly rare but annoying glitch occurred. Upon being picked, I was teleported back to where I'd spawned. Although this fucking tracer from Overwatch glitch is kinda funny, it meant that Brother Box was alone. Surrounded by 3 enemies, he was killed instantly, and so was his pterodon. I hopped on a PT and began rushing back to the battle, where Shmurda was now whistling and leading away the pterodon that I'd been dismounted from. Seeing that he was being chased, I picked the RG on him to give him some breathing room.
Picked him.
With this, we were able to fall back further north and regroup. Although outnumbered by the enemies before us, Hamoud was gearing up and getting ready to join the fight. If we could hold out for a bit, the odds would shift in our favor.
Fucking, they got a sniper.
My pterodon had been headshot. One more hit like that and it'd be dead. I began dodging around, doing everything I could to avoid another shot like that.
How many of them are
My pterodon was dead, but I wasn't out of the fight just yet.
He's bum on my ping.
Bullied him. Bullied 1.
Good shit.
PT guy on me as well. I'm just gonna try to finish killing this guy. Fucking die, bro. His buddy's trying to bully me. I killed his buddy. Other guy's on the ground
what the
with me.
fuck?
Good shit.
I got headshot, bro. I had the same thing.
Shmurda's pterodon had just been killed in the exact same way as mine. 2 back-to-back headshots. No misses. This was highly suspicious, but since I'd managed to kill a guy, the enemies were thrown into disarray. Some of them retreated, but others were sticking to the fight. We still had one last pterodon with Hamoud, with which he had picked a guy off an RG. I raced over on foot to help him kill the RG.
He whistled. Try to get the guy who whistled. Try to get the guy who whistled.
Just as we were about to land the killing blow, the RG had been whistled away by someone in the woods, and another one took his place. We were on our last legs. If we didn't win this fight, the battle would be lost.
Don't worry about me, bro. Okay.
I dropped some.
You're huge. They're throwing bullets at you. Be careful. This guy right on top of me.
I'm just gonna hop off and do the fall.
Bullet him.
Nice, good shit.
Get his
Good
ass.
shit. Good shit.
Look at this fucking guy. He gets bullied and he has no clue what to do. He just starts fucking panicking.
He's dead.
With this guy dead, nobody came by to whistle his RG away. Only a short distance away, Brother Box had bowled another guy off an RG. He had killed the player, but he needed help killing the very high-level RG before his buddies showed up and whistled it away. I retrieved a nearby pterodon, and while the rest of the team focused on killing the RG, I hovered overhead waiting to intercept anybody that would come by and try to whistle it away. An RG guy was coming. I didn't even have to kill him. I just had to stop him from getting within whistle range.
Picked him.
Ping it, ping the RG.
No, finish that passive RG first, genuinely. I'll keep this guy at bay.
I'm finishing up. Killed it. It's dead. It's dead.
Killed it?
Nice.
These guys had somehow managed to grasp defeat from the jaws of victory. We lost like 60% of our pterodons almost instantly in this fight. And somehow these guys managed to choke from there and ended up losing 2 RGs. And we got the kits off those guys. So in the end, this actually ended up being a victory, although a costly one. And do you see this rally point less than 2,000 feet away? Yeah, that was our base. That's how close we had been to our hidden base this entire fight. At any rate, with us having somehow clutched up this fight, day 1 was nearing its end. Last thing we did before hopping off was make a new base further south from here because frankly that one was way too close to theirs. And with all our shit now safely stashed there, we hopped off. Day 2 started off with a nice little early morning grub. Followed by a nice little early morning getting ganked by 5 guys. After that, I went to go see how Tribe of Stat FPS was doing, and I found that through the night, they had been farm slaving. Their 3 industrial forges were now 8, they had the bottom area of their base now gated off, and they had an insane amount of stegos. Now this is weird because stegos are basically only useful for attacking other bases, but there weren't any on this server. Meanwhile, they were hardly using this metal at all. Their base was basically the same as it had been before, all of these being clues to their true identity. Whoever these guys were, I had a nice little look around their base to see what kind of weaknesses they had. And before long, I found a Rhino-Gnathia that was maybe only 10 hours away from being usable. Now, they had made a bit of an attempt to stop this thing from getting shot at, but it didn't take me particularly long to find an angle on it. So me and a couple buddies grabbed pistols to snipe it from right under their noses.
Yeah, I got hit marker. Fire, fire, fire!
This was the 3rd rhino we'd killed. They only had 1 left. Of the 3 snipers that went on the suicide mission, 2 of us were able to escape into the woods. We then regrouped and went back to snipe some more shit. This time I targeted a pterodon, but I was unable to kill it before they noticed. 2 guys were coming out. There was no way we could kill them, but we might still be able to do some damage after all.
He's on top of us?
I got you.
Bullet him, bullet him, bullet him! Butcher mode, butcher mode.
Easy.
They lost a fucking level 273 pterodon to a bunch of hide armor shitters. Our next little guerrilla grub tactic was to grab a couple swords and chop up a Bronto they had left outside their base unattended. As you might expect, this took a fucking fat minute. And I really do mean a fat minute. Could you imagine being this Bronto very slowly getting torn to pieces by tiny little toothpicks wielded by goblins? This torture took so long that our swords were actually running out of durability and we had to switch to hatchets.
Oh my god, yes.
After fooling around with basically no gear and no tames, we decided to hop back on the pterodons. Nearby their base, we saw a yellow drop coming down, and that should be all that I need to tell you so that you know exactly what happens next. That's right, we set up an ambush on it. Box and Schmurda hid their pterodons nearby and found cozy bushes to hide in next to the drop. Meanwhile, I stayed on my pterodon lurking around the forest acting as a watchman.
Oh, RG coming for the drop. I swear to God, it's coming for the drop. Yeah, I think he's landing for now, Schmurda.
Yeah, I see him, I see him. I bullet him.
Coming,
We got him easy.
Yeah, we got him.
Is he dead?
He's fucking unconscious.
Ambushing these guys is too fucking easy. You just hang around their base for a couple of minutes and you catch one of their guys doing some dumb shit like this. Best part about all this? The guy had a 295% ascended simple pistol on him. Yep, that's right. Just a revolver that does fucking triple damage. Don't worry, Zhao Li, we'll put her to good use. Roughly 20 minutes after this, me and Schmurda got in a 2v2 pick fight against 2 of their guys on RGs. These guys had no idea what they were doing in a pick fight, but the problem is because they were on RGs, they were able to carry like 20 parachutes, so killing them with fall damage wasn't possible. And again, because they're RGs, they have much better ground control than pterodons, so we weren't able to contest them on foot either. So essentially we had this long drawn out fucking battle that went across genuinely about half of the map where we just kept picking them and dropping them, but weren't able to finish the kill. This was very frustrating because these guys were shit, but we just couldn't get the final kill. Eventually, this roughly 10-minute long battle just came to an end because we both just went our separate ways. No casualties suffered on either side. To prevent something like this happening in the future, like an actual fucking war in progress, we began to change our battle organization. Now usually if 4 of us went out there to ambush, it would be 4 guys mounted on pterodons. But this encounter revealed to us that this strategy wasn't perfect. Once we got them on the ground, it was very difficult to secure a kill. So instead, we changed it so that when going into a fight, half of us would be on pterodons, and the other half would be carried in the claws of said pterodon with a good ground fighting kit. That way, once a fight began, we would drop the guys on the ground, pick fight the enemy flyers, and once they were parachuting to the ground, we would have guys already on the floor waiting for them. That's how much this shit was becoming like an actual guerrilla war. We were changing our organization and tactics to better counter our enemy's strengths. And we now had the perfect opportunity to test our new organization. Shmurda had found 2 of them on the mountain next to their base. He moved in to jump them. By the time I showed up, the first guy was already dead. I deployed Brother Box as my ground grub unit, and with his very high melee, he was uniquely capable of killing their RGs once the players were dead.
Another RG. Here.
A second RG was coming in to try to save the situation.
I'm below him. I'm right below him. Pick him. I can chop him up.
Okay.
I'm going for him, Shmurda. Got him.
Okay, nice, you got him.
Yeah, he's on the ground right here. Another one coming from below. Another one coming from below.
The guy who was picked was dead. Now we just needed to get this guy off the yellow RG.
Okay, we got him.
He was dead too. 3 RGs were sitting around waiting to be chopped up by Brother Box. While the rest of the team focused on that, I once again assumed a watchman role waiting for anyone to come by from their base.
We got an RG coming to try to whistle, bro. Picked him. Right here.
The 4th guy was picked and dropped and quickly killed by our ground grubs. These guys had really no fucking idea at all how to pick fight.
3 RGs, holy shit.
Yeah, nice.
No,
Good shit.
On the side of the mountain right next to their base, 4 of their RGs lay dead, and we got 3 kits off of them, including a really good fucking fabricated pistol. Oh, and how could I forget 15 fucking C4? Our new tactics had reaped us a great reward here. The great slaughter at Obsidian Mountain was complete. After this victory, we had a great deal of momentum, plus some very powerful loot, so I planned our most brazen play yet. You see, we had done a good reconnaissance of their base, and we noticed that to prevent their last rhino from getting sniped, they had placed it in the lower section of their base. Therefore, no matter which cliff we went on top of, we couldn't get an angle on it. But if you can't find an angle, then make one. You see, there were turrets all around the rhino, but it was near the gate. So what I could do is use the gate as cover, place the C4 we had just gotten off of them on the gate, and so long as I was a far enough distance away from the gate to be out of turret range, when I detonated the C4, I'd be a-okay. And for a short window of time, this would open up an angle on the rhino. With normal pistols, we wouldn't have enough time to kill it before they noticed, but we had just recently acquired 2 insane pistols off these guys. So the plan is pretty simple. I blow up the gate, and my guys already have their pistols trained on exactly where the rhino is going to be. A quick smash and grab that'll kill the last rhino they have left, setting them back literally days of rhino progress.
I'm backing up. Detonating in 3, 2, 1, go.
Yep.
Cheers.
I'm gonna get back.
Exactly.
Kill it.
Nice, dude. That was so much easier than I thought it'd be. All right, get on birds and let's fucking dip.
A perfect fucking success. Everything went exactly to plan, and we easily extracted from there. It was now the end of day 2, and these guys were back at square fucking 0 for rhinos. They don't even have a pregnant parasir, which, looking back on what I just said, is a crazy fucking sentence. 30 minutes after this, we found one of their guys that had knocked out a level 145 Bronto. Max level is 150, and on the island, dinos tend to spawn at a much lower level. So this was probably the highest level wild Bronto on the fucking entire map right now. And a Bronto host produces the strongest rhinos. This is all to say that that level 145 Bronto they had knocked out was going to be huge for them. We would have loved to have killed it, but there was a guy on a Spino guarding it. On our pterodons, there wasn't a thing in the world we could do to this guy. Unless, of course, we just so happened to send a grub into the forest behind this guy, who would then sneak up on the Bronto and chop it up, while the Spino guy was distracted looking at the pterodon. I mean, if someone managed to do that somehow, that would be hilarious.
Okay,
Our next bit of tomfoolery was to farm up a couple foundations and go spam them up on the mountain closest to their base. This would prevent metal from respawning until they went and cleared these out. And just to make things a little more difficult for them, when I went to go spam off a metal node, they would show up and find a very obvious foundation blocking the metal from respawning, so they would destroy it, go away to wait for the metal to respawn, and then come back and find that the metal still hadn't respawned, because next to every obvious foundation that I placed a hidden one in some bushes nearby. And so the poor farm slavers would have to wait twice as long before they could mindlessly farm up more metal. And with this final act, day 2 ended. As I'd been offline, humiliated by their losses on day 2, Tribe of Stat FPS went out looking for us with a parasaur dragged by an RG. Basically, since parasaurs can detect enemies, this acts as like some fucked up radar system, and before particularly long, they came across our base. The guy who found our base didn't wait for backup and immediately started trying to kill all our tames, and in exchange, he got bullied, killed, and then his RG killed. And I'm looking through the footage now, and I just realized this guy didn't have a helmet on. I mean, he had one in his inventory, just, not on his head, which if we're stack ranking where helmets should be, on your head has to be top 3 for sure. And before his buddies even had time to arrive, we had packed up all our shit and disappeared. Great job, buddy, getting yourself killed and having us move out all our loot. My boys had rebuilt on the western zone, and when I logged in, I found a nice little beautiful hidden 2x1 in the forest, just the way I like them. But even in this event, we got another clue at these guys' true identity. They were clueless when it came to hidden bases. Whoever they were, they didn't have much experience fighting against them. We spent a little bit of time getting our feet back under us, but after that we decided to do some early morning tame sniping.
Alright,
It's a headshot. It's dead.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's dead.
Yes.
Yes.
2 pterodons dead. Not like some great prize or whatever, but not a bad way to start the morning either. After the sniping, we went out in force with our pterodons outside their base to PvP them. Now the annoying thing is, as soon as these guys pushed out to fight us, my game fucking crashed. But despite that, Hamoud managed to bola a guy's pterodon and then the guy himself. He threw an arc nade at the guy, and as the guy's buddy was flying overhead, one of the Goopers, Lucy, picked and dropped him into that same gas cloud. And so we ended up looting 2 insane kits off of these guys from 1 arc nade. A decent bit after this, Brother Box was on an RG flying near a spit south of our base, when he saw Stat FPS on an RG coming after him. This guy might have been out here looking for our base, and remembering the 4v1 against me on day 1, I decided that we should show this guy how to properly gank someone.
Got him.
You see? Yeah,
Nice.
Lucy picked him.
Got him again.
Nice.
He's on RG. He's on RG. He's on RG.
Got him.
Nice.
Drop him.
Bullet him. Bullet him. Bullet him. Get him.
Okay, nice.
Nice.
Gank him, bro. Gank him.
Yeah, buddy.
Now, if you're wondering why this guy was able to soak up so much damage from us, it was because they were beginning to wear Ascendant Flak armor, which is basically armor that can just absorb 10 times as much damage as the shit we're wearing, which is like honestly super unbalanced, but hey, we still got the guy. In fact, I'm willing to bet that this guy was wishing he didn't have any armor when we jumped him, because we had actually taken him alive. And I guess somebody in my tribe was a weirdo because they just happened to have handcuffs on them. So, we quickly built a little box and crucified the guy. Basically, he's just stuck up there until he dies of starvation or one of his buddies come to break him out. Which, having to get one of your buddies to come bail you out after a bunch of goblins crucified you is pretty fucking funny. After this, we found an interesting base in the deep south. Built up on a pillar, this base was lightly defended by plant species X. We could see that this base was relatively built up, but as soon as Stat FPS found it, this thing would be destroyed and all the resources in it would go to them. In fact, building a defensible base against a giant 25-man tribe is, for all intents and purposes, completely impossible. That's why we have all these little hidden bases. So seeing that this was basically just a loot drop that Stat FPS had yet to claim, we decided we should get at it first. Because of the fact that it's built on a pillar and it had the plants, going from below was impossible. And if you went to try to land a flyer on their base, the plants would kill you. But what they didn't expect was a paratrooper grub coming in.
Probably. 3, 2, 1, go. Don't hit the plants.
Okay, I'm feeling
Actually,
alright.
jumped
I'm
in the
feeling
worst
alright. Let's shoot. Smooth, bro.
I landed in a blind spot of their base, And from here, I could safely pick all the plants, and now we could land flyers up here. And the loot was pretty fucking good. There was a lot of damage we could cause to stat FPS with all this metal. In fact, there was so much loot here that we had to take multiple RG trips just to bring it all home. And once we got it all home, we took a little bit of time to bask in the sunlight of all this loot. Things were looking good for us. We had some pretty real resources to work with here.
They're using everything.
Oh my god, we're just getting raided. We're getting raided. We're getting raided. There's a guy at base right now.
We had been taken by complete surprise. Our base was blown open.
On me. His PT's right here. His PT's right here.
All the PC.
We bowled the guy's pterodon. I stayed back to kill it, while others chased down and killed the player. Stat FPS. These guys had found our base, and we had literally no idea until they'd blown in. We began packing up all our loot, the whole time keeping an eye in the back of our heads. At any moment, if the fucking Spino guy showed up, we'd all be dead. But before anything like that happened, we packed up all our loot, and we were once again gone. This fucking idiot hadn't told anybody that he'd found our base and had gone in completely by himself, thinking he could take a fucking 6v1. Again, another clue to these guys' identity. Whoever they were, they had a pretty fucking crazy ego on them. These guys had managed to throw the easiest victory of all time. They had found out where our base was without us even knowing. Imagine if instead of going in by himself with a pterodon, he had brought a couple buddies with him and that Spino. Well, then we would have lost all our tames and all of that loot we had just gotten from that base. But instead, all we got was just another guy's kit and one of their pterodons killed. Once again, truly grasping defeat from the jaws of victory. However, we did actually learn from this. We realized that they probably weren't going to end up choking a third time. So this time we decided to make multiple shacks all across the map. Since there was now about 6 of us in the tribe, we all kind of just built a shack of our own. We had the cat shack down in the very southeast, so named because I'm sure you can figure out why. Bloomy Base, a little bit northwest of that, which was my personal 2x1, and whose location and name was borrowed from my greatest enemy, who you've sometimes heard me refer to as Tumor Man, and whose actual tribe name is Floomy. We then had Goop Camp, which we called a camp because it was within render distance of the enemy's base, so it was not worthy of a base title. And then we had Volcano Base, and I think you can understand why we called it that, because it was built next to a fucking volcano. I suppose we were not exactly the most imaginative bunch. And then probably even a couple other shacks that I didn't know about. I mean, everyone just built wherever the fuck they wanted to. I wasn't exactly keeping a tight lid over everyone. With all of us cozy in our little shit shacks, day 3 came to an end. At the start of day 4, we had quite a mischievous morning. It started off with me and Brother Box using pistols and a gap we found in their walls to snipe a rhino. We used suppressors so they couldn't hear us while we were doing it. Open fire, you ready? Hope I'm hitting it, bro. And almost instantly after the rhino was dead, a tech guy flew up and rocket launched us, but that's not gonna unkill your rhino, buddy. Then we sniped an RG on a small outpost they had on Volcano, before finding another small outpost they had on Herbivore Island with a couple tames left behind, which we completely wiped out with crossbows.
RG dead. Pump them now.
Okay, it's
Not necessarily a bad start, but we had big plans for today. You see, having recently bossed up on resources and still having those crazy pistols we'd gotten off of them, I decided to go take another closer look at their base to see what weaknesses I could find. Now, it took me a bit to find it, but eventually I did. Mainly because these guys are the kings of not learning their lesson the first time. See, after we'd blown down their gate and sniped that one rhino, they had learned their lesson and placed Plant Species X and auto turrets on the outside of their gate so no one could just walk up and blow it down. But they hadn't done a very good job. I noticed that on the north side of the wall, there was a small section that was covered only by Plant Species X. No turret coverage there. And while Plant Species X are certainly decent at killing players, they're not nearly as fast as turrets. So, if I went for a suicide run with flak armor, I'd be able to survive long enough to blow down the wall. And guess what was on the other side of said wall? A brood of about 15 rhinos that were maybe 75% of the way to being done. These things had been growing since about the end of day 2. Now the problem is if we blew down the wall, they would notice basically instantly fly over and push us off. We'd probably only be able to get one rhino, maybe 2 if we were lucky. But having recently gotten a good amount of resources and taking a page out of their book, we decided that we could simply hide a heavy turret powered by batteries in a bush nearby to shoot them when they came to push us. This wouldn't hold them off forever, but it would probably buy us a couple minutes. Plus, it would give them a taste of their own medicine. And still having those insane pistols we'd gotten off of those guys, that would be plenty of time. A half-decent plan, plus a pretty incompetent enemy. Those are the hallmarks of a good play. So, everybody hopped on, grabbed the best pistols they could. I got C4 and my goblin outfit, and we snuck our way into the jungle north of their base. We placed down sleeping bags, hit our pterodons, got as close as we could to the base undetected, set down the battery heavy, and now it was up to me to get rid of those gates.
You need to kill the rhinos. He's gonna blow up the wall, there's gonna be rhinos.
Fuck, I got hit by plants, bro.
He's Ricky John. Yeah.
The gates were down. The slaughter of the bugs could commence.
Yeah, I see it.
PT's coming, PT's coming.
One down, one.
Almost instantly, a guy pushed out to attack them, but the turret forced him back. We were gonna be here for a minute or two. Rhino after rhino began falling.
Nice, good, nice. Baby ones, I
My
think.
FPS is so bad.
I killed one. Nice.
Another one.
I love shooting kids. Easy kill. Oh,
Use spy glasses.
Another one down.
Nice.
coming.
Texu guy tried pushing us, but once again, the turret held him off.
Guys, it's over.
Okay, another one, dude. Yes, good. Keep fucking shooting. Goose, you have like the best
Over
gun
here.
here, so you need to go crazy.
Nice,
Nice, dude. Another kill.
We were there for so long, I was able to respawn on a nearby bag and make my way over. And even then, the shooting didn't stop. Since I didn't have any gear, I borrowed a spyglass off someone and acted as a spotter.
Oh, I see one.
That's a good thing. There's like 3 of them right on top of each other, right on ping.
Over here, on my...
yeah, I see it. I'm
I'm
trying
killing one
to
right now.
shoot it.
There's like one. Oh, these pops. They just like.
Oh, good
Nice,
shit,
bro,
good shit,
nice.
good shit.
Nice.
Yeah, they're there.
The defenders were scrambling for any way to push us off. Eventually, a guy on a stego pushed out. The turret would be useless against him. We fell back into the forest, remounted on our pterodons, and we were gone. Operation Blow and Go, as Brother Box had dubbed it, was a complete success. In exchange for 1 suit of flak armor, a C4 detonator, and a couple hundred bullets, we had killed 8 rhinos. Some of them very high levels. And here we were given another clue. These guys had no idea how to deal with this kind of PvP. Their base was well defended against an actual raid where someone seeks to wipe them out completely, but as you can see, clearly it wasn't prepared for the kind of shit we were doing. Whoever these guys were, they didn't have much experience with smaller groups picking on them. I could feel that we were getting much closer to finding out who these guys truly were, but for now, we would have to content ourselves on our soaring victory against them. With Operation Blow and Go complete, Day 4 concluded. Unfortunately, Day 5 did not exactly have a mischievous morning. Instead, the first notable event was when we were in the Redwoods. I was on a PT when I saw an enemy rhino coming straight for me. These guys finally had their strong-ass tame, and they were going to use it to take revenge on us for all those we'd killed before. This was going to be tricky. I first began by simply running away from him. With a rhino nearly as fast as a pterodon, he was hot on my tail. That was perfectly fine. I wanted him to get cocky, and as soon as the time was right, I performed a quick 180.
Yeah,
I have one bullet, bro.
I picked him. He's going to the ground.
I picked him and dropped him on the ground. I landed my pterodon and joined him there.
I bowled him.
I bowled him. We all gathered around and did everything we could to kill him, but his armor was too good. He'd gotten out of the bowl and began running away again, but Hamoud was hot on his trail.
I'm getting back on bird, bro.
I bullet him again.
You bowled him again. Nice.
And that was that. He was dead. Off his body, we looted an ascendant compound bow, one of the most expensive weapons in the game, which we quickly used to kill his rhino. All that time spent taming that rhino just for it to die in such a pathetic way. Hoping to avenge his friend, an RG guy was coming.
He landed.
Pick him up.
Picked him.
My
Legit.
infantry ready.
Drop him.
Bowl him.
He's bullet.
This new compound bow we got was like a fucking superpower. It was no effort at all to kill this guy. The dude had 20 C4 on him and one of their pterodons. As soon as I saw that, I took it. I swear to God, you know that thing I said about these guys never learning their lesson? Same fucking guy came back on an RG and tried to chase some of my guys as they were leaving. Would you be surprised if I told you he got jumped and killed and fed us another good item, this time a shotgun? After this, the guy was upset, and so for one of the first times ever, we saw them type in chat. And here's the thing about this. You see, this guy had a pretty unique Steam username. Most of the people on their tribe literally just had the name 123 so you couldn't look them up, but not this guy. So I looked up Shu1Y, and what did I find except an account with no profile picture, no friends, no background, nothing except 2 games they own, and a game ban less than a year old. This account is literally just for playing Ark, because whatever other game he owns, he needs to make another account because he's been banned on it again. In fact, the whole tribe was playing on alt accounts, because with this final piece, the puzzle was laid out bare before us. Stat FPS was actually MT6, a tribe thought of by many as the best on the conquest cluster, if not the entire game itself. These guys have a reputation of transferring to servers controlled by other 25-man tribes and raiding them there. About a month ago, they had been banned for allegedly cheating in a raid against another tribe, and so now you can see how everything's connected. That's why they were all playing on these alt accounts and using these weird-ass names. They were trying to lay low. Their propensity for raiding other giant tribes explain why everyone on the server was raided and why they were continuously farm slaving, but it also explained why we had such an easy time with them. These guys were easy to ambush because they're not used to that kind of shit. They're used to 25-man tribes facing other 25-man tribes with the highest gear possible. So when goblins are jumping out the woods with shitty gear, they don't know what to do. It also explains why they're bad at pick fights. You don't usually pick fight in the type of PvP that they do. Certainly not with teardowns and RGs at least. And it explains why they have no clue against hidden bases. Regarding the bans they had received about a month ago, they would claim this was only given out to them because they attacked a tribe that supposedly had connections with the admin team. But the fact that they have at least one confirmed cheater in their tribe, plus the dude who has been recently banned off of other games, and you gotta keep in mind that's the only guy on the team that we can check because everybody else has their name set to 1, 2, 3, and suddenly I'm a lot more suspicious of that story. And keep in mind, this is just them trying to be subtle. This is after they've all been banned. So one of the most vaunted tribes in this entire game might not be so great after all. And over the past 5 days, we had shown that even the quote-unquote greatest tribes can be picked on by even the smallest of people. We had a bit of a blast punking these guys out, but by now we had had our fill. However, we had saved our best trick for last. See, these guys had 3 tech replicators right next to each other on their base. And these are the most expensive structure by a fucking mile. And for some reason, tech replicators count as a wood structure, meaning everything that damages wood damages them too. And here's the little trick that most people don't know about. For some reason, catapults do insane damage against wood structures. So this dirt cheap, almost never ever used mounted turret is able to 2-shot them. As much as I would love to lay claim for this crazy new strategy, I have to give credit to my buddy Mego Tribe Lou for bringing this to my attention. To actually get these unmovable catapult turrets to within range of the tech replicators, we outfitted 2 zeppelins with 2 catapults each. Ready to cause some real damage? We took off.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm in position. I see the reps.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna descend from right here.
Get out.
Okay, do it right now, We're right here, bro. Okay, I'm gonna join you on the guns now. Fire.
I hit something.
Okay. Keep fucking firing, bro.
I'm going to the guns.
One down. Two down.
That's the right one. On the right. Right, yeah, right. I hit something.
I can't see one much shot.
It's gone. Everything gone.
It's gone.
Okay. All tech replicators were destroyed, but we still had ammo to spare, so we just started targeting every crafting station they had in their base.
I'm joining.
I got 30.
Yeah, you're good, guys. You're good.
I hit something.
I'm hitting him.
Yeah.
I hit. Oh, let's go.
Alright, okay, almost one left, guys.
Wait, we destroyed him, bro? Guy.
It's all gone. It's all gone.
It's all gone. And with this final and greatest of acts done, we'd had our fill of these guys. We'd had 5 days of solid grubbing, but by now these guys were getting a little stale. We'd proven that literally any tribe can be grubbed, even MT6, who other 25-man tribes talk about like they're the fucking boogeyman, had suffered at the hands of the goblins. And that was something we were pretty damn proud about. Again, thank you to War Thunder for sponsoring this video. Don't forget to play it for free on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, or mobile devices by using my link in the pinned comment or video description. Those of you who are new or haven't played for 6 months will also receive a massive bonus pack across PC and console, including multiple premium vehicles, in-game currency, and more. Thank you to the Goopers for joining me in this goop-tastic adventure. Obviously, I wouldn't have been able to do nearly as much of these guys solo, and without them, I probably would have never figured out who the fuck these guys were. And finally, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed watching us fight what's supposed to be one of the best tribes in the whole game. Frankly, I was very surprised with how they played. I really would have expected guys like these to just shit on us, but I guess they just really don't do the kind of PvP that we do.